Well, it wasn't really an earth-shaking Saturday. It would have been a lot worse. Texas A&M came close to losing. Ole Miss came close to losing. Tech came close to losing. The list goes on and on. Southern Cal came close to losing. But only one major loss occurred. Only one major loss occurred. We all know which one that was. Alabama. And that wasn't really as big a surprise. I'm not even sure that was an upset. I have to look it up. That was a game that you would legitimately call, 50-50 maybe. But when it's Alabama, well, I guess the point is all those things seems like it should have happened. But only Alabama took the big L of the teams that mattered. Southern Cal became a playoff team yesterday. Probably. Michigan, very much in. Oklahoma, very much in. And they really were on the bubble before Saturday's games. Yeah, I'm leading up to the big one. Texas was trying to become a lock. If they had won, they would have been in. They would have probably forgiven an A&M loss. Or maybe A&M would have got the loss they deserved, and Texas would have beat them. I don't know how that game's going to go. I think I do. But the big game, the one thing that we've been waiting for basically 2 years as a Georgia fan to hear, you hear the national media say that we might be the best team. How did that happen? How did that happen? All year we barely won. A fourth quarter team, but a terrible team before that. Couldn't do anything in the first half. Defense was Mark Richt or Ray Goff level. We were heading back to the bad old days, even though the record didn't show it. And then we lost to Alabama, but we could have won. That was our fault we lost, as it always is. And so now you're back, in a way, to where you were in 22. No, not the same team, not the same absolute dominance. But you're behaving very much like that for the first time since 22. 23, we kind of looked like a playoff team, but we didn't. And we weren't. Last year, we didn't look like one, and when we got there, it showed. But today, we did what we didn't do last year, and that was kind of blow out Texas. Even though I feel like we could have blown them out even more after rewatching the games. I couldn't watch it during it when it was played, but I've watched it a few times. I think we should have won by more. Take away that interception, and take that middle lull where we stopped them and we didn't score ourselves, this thing could have been 65-3. It was a TCU kind of beatdown. It's how it felt. Every little piece that is strung together was no rhyme or reason. It didn't add up to anything. Texas kept having to give the ball back. Got just enough pressure. We finally kept a team, very low score. A 10. This time we held a team to 10 instead of being the team that scored 10. I kind of like that. I look at Georgia games a lot different than most of the fans. I look at them not as a win or a loss, but how did we play? If you're a championship caliber, you go, hey, man, yeah, we won the game, but did we look like something? Georgia hasn't looked like anything that you would be afraid of if you're a championship team. For the last 2 years, they look beatable, even though they won games. Going back, they've only lost games to Notre Dame and Alabama for the most part. Not counting the Ole Miss, but I mean, not counting Ole Miss. Yeah, but it's starting to add up. But Kirby Smart, typically, most of his time here, he's only lost to Alabama. Very seldom anybody else. So the Ole Miss loss was like an aberration last year, I felt. But they were a playoff level team. It just didn't quite get there. So, has Georgia turned the corner? Have they regained a championship attitude? And that's what a championship attitude isn't just a momentary appearance of being good or cocky. It's like, that's what we want to do, is get that ring. Are they ring hungry? Because they haven't been for the last 2 years. Not really, you can tell. I mean, they like winning, but they haven't been like, that's ours. And if somebody else gets it, they took it from us. That's the Georgia I see coming back. And I see the national media kind of recognizing that. So now the big question is, are we going to follow through?